Hey, I've never done an intro or YouTube video before, so yeah. So I'm doing my first place deck profile from the most recent Elestrals digital app tournament. I think it's my 5th tournament win now, so that's pretty cool. I decided to bring my take on the 5's deck, which dominated the meta pre-Limitless. Most people have been running a Earth style 5's using Equal Links, Demeter, Mudlet, which I kind of see it, but I don't like it personally. I didn't test with it too much, but it just didn't feel that great to me. Yeah, I decided to bring a more Thunder focused 5 deck, specifically for access to, where is it? Race to the Top. This card, aggressively mediocre, but it's a removal spell, and it is not on the limited list, so we play it. Yeah. So to start off with our deck, we got 3 copies of Elestrals, 3 copies of Jolton, and 3 copies of Astrabbit. This is our Thunder Core. Elestrals and Astrabbit with Zeus just make a great advantage engine, and Jolton gets us access to Race to the Top, basically. Elestrals in tandem with Zeus can contest basically any board state in the game, and Rabbit's the best card in the game. Needs no introduction. And then for our Water Core, we're running 3 copies of Galaxy, 3 copies of Mustation, and 3 copies of Edward. This offensive water lineup is just so strong, dude. Galaxy plays well into every counter in the game except Gorgons. Mustation is a 6, and it plays well into literally every counter in the game. And then Eddie, well, he's Edward. He's great. And then we run 1 copy of Lavalith because it's a good card. To start with our runes, we're running 2 copies of Zeus, 2 copies of Mount Olympus. Zeus with Melichik, it's great. Olympus is here specifically for Race to the Top, otherwise I wouldn't play it. When you run 1 copy of Laurels, 1 copy of Earthquake, just because they're limited does not mean we're not going to max out on these cards, they're so good. And we got the 3 copies of Ambrosia, pretty much mandatory, and 3 copies of Race to the Top, as I mentioned before. And then for our counter rune lineup, we've got 3 copies of Poison Tipped Arrow, 3 copies of Gorgon's Gaze, and 3 copies of Tsunami. This is actually like a really low counter rune number. Most decks play like 12, sometimes even 15. We're running 9. It felt great the whole tournament. I never felt like I needed more. If anything, I think I would play less, because like Poison Tip was actually really underperforming for me the whole tournament. I usually just found I could attack over something with Eddie, Galaxy, Zeus, and it felt better, or just remove it with Race to the Top. It was cheaper. Poison Tip was still great in the times when it was great, so I think I would absolutely keep it at least 2. And then moving on to the Spirit deck. For our Spirit Math, we're playing Skittles. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Zaptor. This was plenty. I never felt like I needed more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, this was the perfect ratio of water as well. I never felt like I needed more. We got 2 Earth for our Earthquake. We got 2 Fire for our Lavalith, and 1 Frost for our side deck, which I will get to now. 3 copies of Boombat. Same thing as Laurels. This card like skyrocketed in viability once all the removal was hit. Here's where our side deck gets interesting. We got 3 Quackle and 3 Sluggle. Originally I was just siding this because like I wanted to win if I ever made it to time rolls. It was actually just phenomenal though the whole tournament. I found myself siding in at least Quackle and sometimes Sluggle as well for like most matches the entire events. It was really good. I would even consider like adding Quackle to the main. And we got 1 copy of Atlantis. This was a really interesting tech, but I really liked it. The idea originally was I'm going to side in a 3rd copy of Mount Olympus against like Earth, because Earth likes their stadium. But then I eventually realized, okay, I don't ever want a third Mount Olympus, right? But I do still want to win the stadium more and more often. And I ended up bringing in Atlantis because, I mean, it makes Galaxy a 6, which is massive. Eddie to a 5 is really strong. And it also outs my opponent's Mount Olympus, while also not turning on my opponent's Race to the top. So this was like crucial in the Thunder Mirror. I loved it. Then we got 2 copies of Cryoblast. Great card. Like, this is one of the best cards in the game in the matchups where it's good. The problem is the matchups where it's good are almost non-existent. There's like 2, and none of them are like top decks. But like when I can bring this in, I absolutely do. It's so strong. Then we got 3 copies of Shield of Achilles for Ascension shenanigans, like Rhinovern. It felt pretty good against stuff like Cryovern, and Rhinosect. I thought about main decking it, but I think siding it was definitely the right call. And yeah, that's the deck profile. That's all I have for you today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully this video is edited. Hopefully it's even gonna be published. If not, oh well.